Dr. Kayode Fayemi joins us this morning. He's the Director, Policy, Research and Strategy for APC Presidential Campaign Organization. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back here.
Yeah, thank you. Give us your assessment on INEC's preparations. Yes, they've had several briefings, but different people also have different views about different aspects of preparations. What's yours?
Well, in every electoral process, I think it's important to acknowledge that even right up to the last minute, improvements are possible. There is no limit to a search for perfection. But the point that INEC has made, from my own understanding of their assessments, is that if the election were to hold today, they are ready and they'll be able to distinguish themselves favorably with Nigerians. That's their assessment. From our point of view, we have participated in all of the stakeholder engagements that INEC has held with political parties. Where we see shortfalls, we've highlighted them, and we believe that has gone into their preparation. We are holding INEC accountable, and I think that's what every Nigerian should do. But this election, INEC has had 4 years to prepare for it. The timetable has been released for at least a year. Every step of the way, they've kept the stakeholders abreast of what they're doing. And that's not to say INEC has been perfect. I mean, some of us would always hold our breath as far as that is concerned, but we feel that it's done a lot more than it's ever done in preparation for any election.
Could you let us into any of those areas where you or your party found shortfalls or perceived shortfalls, and then you highlighted it to the Commission and they corrected it?
Oh, let me give you a specific example. In the course of the last couple of weeks, INEC has talked about the invalidation of ballots that are placed in wrong boxes. For example, we're going to have 3 elections in one on the 28th of March, presidential, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And the idea that INEC first came out with was, look, if you place the presidential ballot in the senatorial ballot, then you've invalidated your vote. And we've said, look, since these are color-coded according to you, we don't believe that that's right. I mean, anyone could make a mistake. You can sort that out when you get to collation stage. But you need not invalidate, since the ballots are specifically identified as senatorial or representative or presidential. And INEC has acknowledged from reports that we got from our representatives at the various meetings. INEC is willing to correct that.
What about that part where the Commission says that they also spoke to political parties about if elections are inconclusive on a PU a particular day, we'll continue the next day? Was it acceptable by everyone? Because they said everyone accepted it. But now we hear comments saying, look, how practicable will that be? Theoretically, it may sound good, but is that theory applicable to practice?
Oh, of course, that theory is applicable to practice. I can give you an example. I was an observer in the last Ghanaian election, the first time they were using card readers. And that's precisely what happened. There were hiccups in the very first day that election held, and granted, it's a smallest sample. Ghanaian population cannot in any way be compared to ours, but they shifted that election by a day in a number of units, and it did not invalidate the result of the election.
But how do you
I think it's the sincerity of purpose that the stakeholders put into this. If you go into it with the notion that, look, it's all going to end up a failure, then you would not give INEC the benefit of the doubt that it's required. Ideally, I would want a situation in which we have a fail-safe process, because as I've often said to you when I come here, the process is more important than the product. Once we're happy with the process, and everybody can see that the process is transparent, fair, and credible, just like the presidential primary that I presided over, you would discover that everybody will accept.
Are you still worried about certain grey areas you believe that INEC hasn't tackled properly?
Oh, well, even INEC is worried about grey areas that it hasn't tackled properly. For instance, INEC is still worried that the card reader, in terms of the fingerprint recognition, is not as perfect as it would like it to be. We also are concerned about that. The one thing that at least the card reader has proven to almost every skeptic is that you cannot use a cloned or a fake card reader, a fake PVC in the card reader, except you also have a cloned card reader. I've had comments somewhere that there are also people cloning card readers in addition to cloning PVCs. But I think it's fair to acknowledge that INEC has done much better than it has, but we can't stop asking it to even improve upon what it has done so far. I'm very careful to give INEC pass mark until the elections taking place and we see things work in as smooth a manner as we'd all want it to. But I think it's reasonable to commend the effort so far. There's a difference between effort and outcome, though.
Just a couple of days ago, though, your party raised an alarm this time around concerning the use of card reader jammers. You alleged, or your party alleged, that you believe that the opposition, the ruling party, was trying to procure devices that could jam card readers. Was that a gimmick? And if it wasn't, what do you expect INEC to do about that?
One thing you know about us by now is that we don't do gimmicks. When we said that we had it on good authority that elections were about to be postponed through various machinations, even before Chatham House statement by Sambe Desuki, some said we were just a bunch of alarmists. We have evidence of the procurement of these card reader jammers, and that's why we raised the alarm. The onus has been shifted if the ruling party says it doesn't have anything to do with it. Oh, that's fine, we're happy about that. But eternal vigilance is the price we have to pay for our freedom.
Because some people are scared that could paint, you might be painting a scenario whereby people could be lynched on that day. If, for instance, for some reason the card readers don't work, and people believe that certain persons within the vicinity of a certain polling booth, have these card jammers on them, what are the chances that those people might not be lynched?
We have consistently preached non-violence as far as the electoral process is concerned. Long before the Abuja Accord was even signed, our own presidential candidate has been consistent on that position. We would not promote the lynching of any Nigerian for whatever reason. But it behoves on us to release to the general public information that we have. We can't say because we don't want that to happen, your fears to come to reality, that we should keep quiet about information that we and mark you, a lot of the information that we're releasing, interestingly, comes from the very deep inside. People who are involved in what's going on.
The question